This is the plaintiff, Jerome Curry. He says his dog was attacked by the defendant's unleashed dog, and it was a horrifying incident he can't get out of his head. The defendant's dog had his dog's face in its mouth, and it's a miracle she survived. Bottom line, the defendant refuses to pay his vet bills, and he's here suing for the $5,000 he's now owed. This is the defendant, Rashida Bennett. She says the plaintiff's dog was the aggressor, and his dog had her nice dog Sasha's throat in the grips of his jaws when she intervened. Her dog now has a punctured throat. She has her own vet bills, and if anyone's owed money today, it's not the plaintiff. She's accused of losing control. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $1,426.91 for her dog's vet bills.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant's dog mauled his dog, and it's a miracle that his dog is still alive. But the defendant says she doesn't know the plaintiff anything because the plaintiff's dog was the aggressor, and her dog did what dogs do. It's the case of losing control.
Thank you, Doug.
You're welcome.
All right, Mr. Curry, tell me what happened here. You're on a bicycle, and paint the picture for me of how it looks.
So my dog, she's like high energy. She loves like pulling me everywhere. So I ride a bike, to give her exercise. So it's a little better for me. She's not pulling me. So I got the rope actually. I got the harness actually, and it goes like around my torso, and then it connects to her. So she's standing pretty close to me, and then I'm on my bike. I'm sorry.
Right. So do you have a leash and a harness, or what does it look like?
Yes, the harness and the leash. Here for the harness.
Okay, that's the dog's harness. I thought you were. Is that that goes over the dog, right?
Yes. Yep. And then here for the leash. This goes over me, and it's long enough so it goes around my torso and snap in.
And then so it goes under one arm. No, it goes around your
you
neck.
can put it on however you want to, but I wear it under one arm.
I don't suggest putting it around your throat. It sounds. Did you invent this?
Nope. I seen it online. They usually have them around the waist. People have them around their waist, but my waist, I don't know. It's just better for me to wear it up here. So that's how I wear it. And we're just riding down the street.
So then what do? You sit back, you put your feet up on the handlebars, and the dog just tours you around?
Pretty much. She's dragging me until she gets tired.
So what happens? You're on your bike ride, and what happens?
So we're coming back, and I just got like a weird feeling. It told me to cross the street. So I crossed the street, and now I'm
When you say cross the street, you mean on the bike?
Yes, yep. On the bike and my dog. It's a Y, I want to say. It's like an intersection street. I believe it's Byron Street or something like that. And something just told me to cross. So I crossed the street. And as I'm crossing the street, I looked behind me. But it didn't register it was a dog at that point. So once it actually registered, I turned around and the dog was no longer behind me. It's literally on the side of me.
So now you notice that the dog is next to your dog. And what kind of dog do you have?
I have a miniature pit bull. They're called American bullies. They're just real short pit bulls.
All right, and what kind of dog are you noticing is next to you?
I didn't know the breed or anything. It was just a big black dog coming at us. It was right there next to us. And next thing I know, we was in the street. Later on, I found out it was a German Shepherd. But I didn't know that at
so
first.
tell me what, when you say next thing you know you're in the street, tell me what happened. What happened there?
I don't even know what happened. We were on the thing. I looked down. When I realized it was a dog, I looked down. It all happened so fast. I looked down. I saw it was a dog. Next thing you know, I'm in the street, the middle of the street. We were on the sidewalk. Now we're in the middle of the street. And
how did you end up in the middle? Wait, slow down. How did you end up in the middle of the street? I know how, because you've got a harness around your chest and you're being dragged into the dog fight in the middle of the street where a car could have come. But of course, you're nodding, but that's because your dog got loose, right, Ms. Bennett? What happened? Why was your dog in the middle of the street?
Actually, my dog was. I have the house that is at is my rental property, and it was in the backyard. So basically, I came out of the house, let the dog out to use the restroom, and then I went back in. And by the time I came back out, I heard a commotion, and I was like, "What is that noise?" And so I come out, and I hear him screaming, and I'm running down the driveway, and then as I see them, I see his dog has my dog by the throat, and they are just going at it. By this time, they're not in the street anymore. They've on the same side of the street where my house is. So I'm going like, oh my gosh, what do we do? And I didn't know how my dog got out. No clue whatsoever. And on the pictures that I sent,
but you know that your dog got out, right? The dog did get out because you're seeing it with your eyes. Yeah,
absolutely, yes. And that's when I encountered it. So I don't know what happened prior to other than what he told me, but I don't know if he said my dog was out. My dog is dogs are going to fight, and my dog is not a vicious dog. She's old. She's about almost 9. She's 9 years old. She's got arthritis in her hips, but dogs fight, and I know this. So right.
That's why humans are supposed to keep the dogs inside of their yard, because dogs will be dogs. So what is your defense?
My defense is when animal control was called, they came and assessed the yard. They couldn't figure out how the dog itself got out of the yard. So I was just going, okay, it's out. The dog, it happened. My defense is I just wanted it. Once we got them completely separated, I brought my dog downstairs, and then I came back to assess him and see how he was doing. And that's when we exchanged information. And then after we exchanged information, I told him where I'm going to be taking my dog. It comes to find out we were going to the same exact place. I was like, let's be transparent. And we got there. And so we went to the same place. I asked him, I said, hey, we weren't really talking. We were texting at that point in time. And he was saying that his dog is in surgery. It's not looking good. And in the text, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm praying. I'm 100% sympathetic. And then I get a phone call from the vet about the status of my dog. And then as I get the status, she's saying that I informed her. She said, first of all, the status was your dog has lacerations, abuse, and she has puncture holes. One of the puncture holes is really deep. They cleaned it. They couldn't close it because they were fearful of infection. So they said, what we're going to do is just give her the antibiotics. We're going to move forward and we'll go from there. I said, that's great. But I asked her, I said, well, since the dog was bitten, can I ask, because I don't know HIPAA law for dogs, but I said,
doggy HIPAA laws?
I didn't know. I asked. So I asked her.
HIPAA's a law that prevents you from being able to call my doctor and get my medical information. All doctors have to keep medical information for humans private. I don't know if there's a doggy HIPAA law, but go ahead. You ask how his dog's doing and what? There really is? That's funny.
Yeah, there is. I asked how his dog was doing. They said, I said, Mr. Curry said the dog was in surgery. There was like, the vet said, no, that's not true. So why are you lying to me saying that your dog's in surgery? And then the vet said, actually, your dog got the brunt of it.
What difference would it make if your dog got the worst of it? Because happened to dogs will be dogs, which is the truest thing you said. You see, in the law, we do not punish the dogs. It makes no difference to me if his dog, got the best of your dog. He's suing for the vet bill, which we know was $758.59. When you say that the vet told you the dog wasn't in surgery, did your dog have surgery or did your dog not have surgery, Mr. Curry?
Yes, my dog had surgery. She was there at the place the whole time. As soon as it happened, my sister immediately took me there. I didn't even go get personal care for myself.
So there's a vet bill, which is what it is, and we know what it is. And then there's his bill, because according to you, you got injured too. Correct?
Yes, correct.
So we see God bless her. We see the dog's injuries. Yep. Yeah, that kind of looks like surgery.
Yes, absolutely.
Poor thing. And I don't really care which dog played Quienes Mas Macho, because the dogs are dogs. They're animals. We don't fault the dogs for what happened. the law looks at the behavior of the humans. And what happened here? There's a human with a dog on a leash following the law, even if he has some creative thing going on. I've never heard of that, but you should be able to have a quick release. Because I know we love our dogs, but I assume you love yourself just a little bit more. And I just, but that has nothing to do with this case, because that is not, his injuries are directly due to the fact that your shepherd got out. And that's what we punish. We punish that you can't figure out how your dog escaped. We punish that you are not in control. We punish that. So now you have a theory about how the dog escaped, right, Mr. Curry?
Yes, yep. Upon her giving me all of her information, she gave me some sort of grocery list that says shower kit rings, shower head replacement, 2-piece dog ear fence. So in my opinion, this is the handwriting.
So I gotcha. So that's kind of, wow, that's unfortunate that that's a piece of paper you handed him. It sounds like you knew the fence needed repairing.
Actually, that was done.
The first thing she could probably grab.
No, actually, that list I was in Rochester for 2 months. That list was made before that, and that was done.
Whatever fence you bought for the dog didn't work because your dog got out, and that means that you've got to pay not just the dog's vet bill, but his bills, because he also got slightly injured, and he ended up going to the emergency room. And bills. What do you mean? How do you have to pay? Why did he get injured?
He said. Now I will say this on. The following day, he went to the emergency department, and in the emergency department, the doctor called me, and he said, Mr. Curry said that your dog bit him, and that's the extent of his injuries. He wants to know if your immunization records for your dog is up to date. I said, absolutely. He said, but the doctor said, I'm concerned because with dog bites, there are puncture holes and wounds. I said, well, Mr. Curry told me that he thinks it came from falling off of his bike. So yeah, I'm like, is it because
that's what I think too? I don't know what the doctor was telling you, but am I looking at injuries? Yes or no?
Yes.
Looks like it.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at injuries. Ms. Bennett, I'm asking you.
My middle finger.
Do you see the injuries? Right. Is that from the middle finger does have a puncture wound, does it, or no? Was it a dog bite?
My middle finger, yes. It was like
bike?
A chunk of skin missing. So when everything was happening, the dog did come at me when I was kicking the dog.
I don't care. Everybody stop. Stop. Look, that only happened because your dog got out. Okay, Ms. Bennett? So
pretty much.
That is, in the law, what we say is we punish the human behavior, and then we figure out what the damages are. And the damages are things that are approximately caused by the bad thing you did. The bad thing you did was not keeping your dog under control. So these are damages that are most certainly a proximate cause of not keeping your dog in control. Because if two dogs are fighting and one guy has a leash, that guy may get hurt by being knocked over. Now, if what had happened instead is that he's got this contraption and he's dragged by the dogs into the street and a Mack truck runs over him, and then he sues you for all of those injuries, I might sit there and say, I'm not sure that was proximately caused by the German Shepherd. I think that was proximately caused by your goofiness of having this thing around you, because that doesn't seem safe to me.
I'm able to control her, though.
So you say, but if she, first of all, the only reason you even have it is because she has so much energy that she drags you. You do you, okay? You do you. If he got knocked over or if the dog bit him, either way, you got to pay for those injuries, because there is a result of a dog fight that happened for one reason. Your dog got out. Now, you're suing for pain and suffering, but you're not in. The pain and suffering is what? Your pain and suffering or your dog's pain and suffering?
My pain and suffering. I work a physical job at the post office, so my hand, it keeps literally opening up. I ride that same bike to work, so my hand is it's out there in the temperatures, in the cold. It aches. My hand actually hurts, and it still hasn't healed.
Can I still see the mark now? Show me your hand. Do you still have the mark now?
Yep.
Yeah.
How long ago did this happen? Yeah. How long ago did this happen?
November 17th.
November 17th. Judge, I know that my dog was out. I do not dispute that. But he said his dog is hyperactive. How do I know that his dog didn't bite my dog and my dog retaliated? And
no. I don't think you're understanding me. I'm going to assume that his dog viciously and brutally bit the hell out of your dog. I'm going to assume it. And I'm going to assume that his dog was relentless and got the better of your dog. Now listen to me. We don't punish the dogs because dogs will be dogs. We punish the humans. So, right. And you have a counterclaim against him for your vet bills. And wait, this is kind of rich. You want him to pay the tickets you had to pay, animal control. And why would he pay you back for that?
I would be completely honest with you. In retrospect, now that I say that just doesn't make sense because that was my fault. But I'm thinking about it now.
Because your tickets with animal control were for what? What did you get tickets from animal control for?
One was,
the leash?
They called it
leash?
A fierce dog and an unleashed dog.
So they called your dog a vicious animal. Okay?
Yes.
Now, you need to understand very, very carefully that you are now on notice that they are calling your dog a vicious animal. I know that I'm sure you love your dog and you don't think that's true. But if your dog gets out again and hurts somebody, you can say goodbye to your assets. So you better make sure that whatever fence you bought before or after is really, really sturdy. On your counterclaim against him, 0. On his claim against you, I am going to order you to pay the vet bills of $758, his hospital bill of $1,595. There was no insurance coverage. You don't have insurance?
No, I've lost my job. I'm going through a lot, and I lost my job. So no.
I am going to order $1,000 for your pain and suffering. The dog doesn't get pain and suffering. For a total of $3,353.71. Verdict for the plaintiff. Good luck, everybody.
So the judge awards the plaintiff an amount of over $3,300. Ms. Bennett, what do you think about that?
She's the judge. She has the final say. I don't agree with it because I was trying to be trying to be respectful with him, and we could just kind of split the vet bill. But he wasn't trying to hear that, and he was being rude. So it is what it is. I
know you're upset about it, and you're sorry, and I hope your dog is okay. But boy, that's a shame.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, Mr. Curry, I know $3,300. You were asking for $5,000. You didn't get that. You satisfied with what the judge gave you?
Hey, it is what it is. I'm glad that it's over, though. I'm glad that it's over. We're going to be able to take care of these bills now. That's pretty much it.
Okay. All right. We heard about your hand and how it is. What about the dog? How's the dog now?
She's good. She's actually right here with me now.
She doing better? Okay. Well, good luck to you.
I guess you heard that old saying, every dog has its day. Mr. Curry was kind of fortunate to have the smoking gun handed to him by the defendant here with a little note for the to-do list that said, oh, by the way, make sure you repair the fence, basically, the dog fence of all things.
Right.
So that was kind of hard to overcome.
It's hard to overcome completely once your dog is out in the street. I mean, her entire defense was built on the idea that his dog got the better of mine.
Right.
So he's the bully. How do I know he didn't bite first?
Oh, you know what? His dog, Amber, was chewed up. Did you see her forehead? All the stitches and stuff? Oh,
now, the defendant's dog, I mean, the defendant was suing for her dog bills, and it's so clearly not the responsibility of the plaintiff that we didn't really go into. But her dog also had some hefty bills. Right. In fact, even more than the plaintiff had. But again, that's her fault, too.
So Barry wants to know this. Hey, Harvey. My neighbors put all the snow from his driveway onto my property when he plows, and I'm sick of it. What can I do to stop him? Well, a couple of things. One is you can obviously sue him for the cost of snow removal, and that might dissuade him from doing it in the future. The other thing you could do, although this is a little more complicated, you can get an injunction. You can prohibit him from actually doing it again under the force of law, where he could actually be arrested if he violates that injunction. He could be held in contempt of court. It's a little harder to do it that way. I might start with hiring somebody, even if you sue him for $100 or demand $100, that may solve the problem permanently.